if we're not going to do after school, it's like you're saying, it's not really working as effectively as we're intending it to, then we might need to switch to do something during the daytime when they're already here and not having to stay late or come early and get even more tired or interfere with extracurriculars. So I know you guys in math do money incentives, so maybe us as a department could all do that and have it dual. So maybe explain that to us a bit.
Let us go ahead and send the documents over to you. That way when we're talking about it, y'all can get the visual as well.
I think you sent
I sent our contracts to y'all.
Okay. Is yours the same, via Saudi?
Yes, just names change, but Chris, you sent it out?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I can find corporations. Is it the contract?
Yeah,
Oh, here we go.
I sent out the contract.
So if you need, it was on February 11th. I think everyone's got it.
Or a star review. That's the subject line. Okay.
Oh, I'll send it. Packabish and stamp it and send it to y'all.
Okay, forward it. Alright, so with the, or I'll wait until it's all flipped. But also y'all did a great job with our lockdown that we had. That was unexpected, but you did good.
Alright, I just forwarded it to y'all.
Got it. So with the corporations, Jeffrey, you started this off about 3 years ago. Do you want to kind of talk it out and I can add in, you know, how it was seen in my class? And
yeah, so basically you just start a corporation in your class. Each kid gets a contract that you will go through, read it with them so they know. And you could tailor it to whatever you do in ELA, science, or social studies. So for like, I put the dates of when the corporation will start. So for math, since our whole math department's doing it, we said we would start March 27th, and then the last day of the corporation would be May 10th, which is the Friday before the STAR test. So then there's some fancy words right there in the statement of work. But then we go through their responsibilities. So Education Galaxy, and I'm specific with what they need to do, and for their responsibility, Khan Academy, assignments, the warm-ups for the week or do nows every day, the TEAG practice we do in small groups. I consider any meeting, whether it's small group or whole group instruction, to be a meeting with the CEO. So they get money for meeting with the CEO, and it's just a way to feed them some money so they can earn, especially for those kids who work a little slower or just need a little bit of help getting that cash.
Can we get some information about the areas that we need to focus on?
yeah.
Because that way I can, in my class, try to find those areas that they need to improve.
And I was almost wondering too, if we did as a team do the do nows, we could even switch content around so that they're seeing, maybe just as the do now, they might see like one problem from ELA in our class. I don't know.
Cross-curricular.
Yeah, just a thought for a little
So,
mix-up.
I mean, Packabush mentioned how they could earn different things. So here's all just what they could do in class, which we need to edit it a little bit since we're not doing the benchmark. Last year, or years before, if they correct their benchmark, I'd give them $70 for each reporting category that they corrected. For every 5% they increase on Khan Academy, they get money. All assignments they turn in that's completed, they get $10. They complete the weekly do nows, $25. The weekly work that we give them, $150. So just anything. If they correct an assignment, I give them $20 for going above and beyond and trying to get better. But we can definitely add in character building, compensation stuff too, to meet the Wiley core values. And this year we added bonuses and promotions. So like employee of the week, you get a bonus of $200. So those kids who are working really hard. And
that's a good way to tie in the
and
Wiley.
it was kind of neat. I'll forward you what Keiser sent, but he would just, in Google Classroom, he would send out like a job posting through like an assignment or something. So it's just a different way for them to pop it up. They write, you know, a little description of why they should get it. And so it's kind of fun, like, and then we also kind of talked about maybe having like a student of the week to where maybe they could even be put on a, you know, Mr. Allen, his beginning what am I trying to say? The announcements.
Mhm.
So their photo might pop up on the announcements for star students or star employees, just for a little extra.
That's kind of what we did with the World Cup.
Yeah.
Like MVP of the week, and then we had pick their name on the stars in the hallway. They got really into that.
Oh,
Really
that would be
motivated
good.
by that. So it'd be like dual student of the week. So I'm sure you guys have like a math department kid of the week.
Mhm.
We could also pick from all of our kids.
Yeah.
And so along with compensations, there's also fines and expenses. So if their behavior, if they're distracting a whole bunch of people, ruining people's learning, you can take money from them. Kind of like a ticket, so to speak, or if they ask for an extra copy of an assignment or just something.
I'm sorry, I had a thought with what you were talking about. For student of the week, instead of just one student of the week, like when we get those suit briefs, it always has a VLE. If you did a DLE for Draper level effort,
That's good.
That's
yeah.
cool, yeah.
you could do several different students could be nominated, teachers can nominate, but there's a reason why, what they did. That kind of-
Maybe one from each subject each week, because then by the end we'll hit most of them.
Mhm. And we can really focus on those kids who need that extra confidence boost. Even, pick that one thing that
Yeah,
they
because
did.
usually it's the kids who are the high achievers and the quiet ones usually get passed over.
Mhm.
How,
So that
how
might
are
be
they
good.
gonna use this money?
So, the rewards, we did have like big, medium, small rewards, but this time we're just making one rewards list. So, the math team, we kind of just talked about it. So like a half pass in math class or in any class, they could spend money on that throughout the corporation. Sit in the teacher's chair could be another reward. A positive note home. I had a few kids last year who really wanted the positive notes home. Listening to music, if you don't let them do that, that could be a reward.
It's a big thing in
We
my
might
class.
need to charge more than $10 for that one.
Well, yeah. If we're all doing it, then we are going to have to up the prices. Sit wherever you want, or like a board card game day, mummy the teacher, a jeans pass. We did have alternative dress pass years past, but that got a little sticky. Some other teachers didn't quite like that and complained, so we just went with the jeans pass. Lunch with the teacher. Some kids do want to eat lunch with the teacher. Movie popcorn day, that's always been really big at the end, like that final week.
Do you allow them to pool their money?
No pass.
No.
2 years ago they did they not?
When you pull the money,
I
like,
would say,
And pool, as in.
like, put it all together.
Yeah.
I would say
in my class
no.
I said no.
Okay, well, that's because I'm like $600, I'm like, ooh.
Yeah,
Because
we'll
I'd
have
have
to
kids
have
that
that.
would want to be able to try that.
But if we're all giving them money,
Okay, that's why I was just curious.
We'll just make this stuff more expensive.
but
Figure it
yeah,
out.
and I always get the popcorn donated. So I will the night before I'll go to the movie theater in Plano, but he tells me I have to come at midnight when all the movies are done. So
Yes,
I
the
go at midnight, and it was literally
It's
it's been
huge.
huge. Extra recess. We put soccer on there this time. Bean Boozled for dual language. A handful of them like switching the order of their classes since
They
we
like
all have the
that.
same teachers.
Oh, how funny. I'm glad you put that at a lot of points.
It may have to go
I'm
even
thinking
more,
we
too.
might have to increase that one too. The only thing they're not allowed to change is their elective classes, so they can change any other period they want.
And with the soccer, our whole kind of thinking behind it was we like the ELA, how y'all did the soccer tournament. And so we thought, well, if we have our regular math plus now dual language, we could easily have like a soccer tournament going on. Which we know a lot of our kids love that. And so we threw out basketball also, but we may just tie that one in with extra recess unless y'all have other ideas, like anything to add. I know there's a lot of stuff
Someone mentioned that dual language dodgeball game.
that would be fun.
Yeah.
I think
Or
that
we
would
could
be
even
fun.
just do that as like everybody does it at the end of the year,
Celebration.
like a celebration type thing. After some one block after the STAR test when we have available time for it, maybe like the end of the day or something. On that
Because we
Friday
did-
maybe, and have all the kids go and have it be fun.
I could
Dual
almost
language
replace-
celebration, what would, Packabusha years past, have y'all done anything like that for dual language celebration, like?
That's what we went. We went down to Founders Park. We walked down there. That was what we did as a celebration. We left maybe like around, we got sack lunches. We had all brought lunches, and we went down to Founders Park mini lesson, and then we pretty much just enjoyed the day. The weather's usually really nice.
Okay.
There's a lot to do. I can dig back through and find some information about what we did. I don't think we spent the whole day there, but we spent.
Seems like y'all were there like 10 to 2 or 10 to 1, something like that.
It's a good amount of time though.
Yeah, it was a large chunk.
Yeah.
Obviously, I can pull it up. I can dig for it.
Just something to look forward to because all they have is STAR, and I know they get really, really emotional towards the end of the year because they all get split up.
I was just thinking, you know how we write the motivational notes? What if we, for like character building, if they wrote other kids' positive notes?
Teachers, students, and staff, thank you so much for your patience. This was a drill. Again, this was a lockdown drill. Today was a drill. 6th grade, at the end of this announcement, if you'll please transition to your next class, and then any students that were in a location other than where they should be 5th period, please return to that location. Again, great job, everybody. Thank you. Have a good afternoon.
That's what I was gonna say, it happened right in the
At
middle of.
passing period.
Uh-huh.
There was one of our Wiley Way days, maybe last semester, or I don't remember when, this year. Our ELA activity was to have them do some version of that, writing notes to kids in your class. And it was supposed to be to everybody, but we wouldn't have time for that, so I just had them do 5, and it did not go well. I even said to the kids, even if you don't know them personally, just try to think of, anything you like their shirt, they get along, and a lot of kids were just like, I don't really know you, but you're cool.
See, mine, they're completely opposite. And the way I did it was we talked about, somebody who you think in the room might really need that word of encouragement. Mm-hmm. And so I had people come up to me and they go, and they kind of like cut their eyes to them. And I tell them their name and they go sit down and start writing. And it was so positive.
I had them draw names out.
Was that a Wiley Way day?
Yeah, it was one of our English activities,
Yeah.
to write. So I had them draw names out of a cup, so that way it'd be more like evenly distributed.
So maybe
to
if
get
they
I just didn't
I
want
had
them to
they
pick,
choose.
and then there'd be kids that weren't picked that didn't have any notes.
Oh, see, then when it came to that, then I started writing some.
Yeah.
I wrote it.
So
I wrote
we
it
could
messy,
even
but I
like
wrote
let
it.
them draw one, and
Yeah.
then they could also just after write to whoever, for more positive notes.
Or maybe, how the, whatever club student council or stuff will make all those posters that hang in the hallway, like the motivational posters or like the box top reminder posters. Maybe towards the end of the year we could just have them, here's a piece of construction paper, make a motivational poster for STAR, a general one, and then we collect them and pass them out and make sure we get different. So that way they don't know who they're writing it to. It's just a general, you can do it, try your best, be positive, and we just make sure like, okay, this came from Kelsey, let me give it to Liz. So that way every kid gets nice. But I think something like this would work. I know that when we did World Cup, they liked it a lot. We just have to all be like consistent with how much money we're giving for stuff. So
You can't just give it like, oh, here.
And I have in the past given, over given, and then it really hurts me in the end because when it's time for rewards, I'm like, okay, they should not be signing up for 3 or 4 things. It should be, them working towards that one goal, that one thing.
yeah, like if on here it's like tutorial attendance $10. Okay, we all have to charge the same amount for it. Otherwise, they'll be like, oh, math is so expensive. Or, whatever they would complain about.
Well, and
Yeah.
with it too, like if we're gonna take away money, I think that we should, if they're talking in class, we need to agree to a same amount.
dollar amount.
Yes,
Yeah,
that way
with
it's
the,
not.
like, borrowing a pencil especially is such a problem. I'm out
that's
all
a
day
big-
long, so we have to all charge. As long as we're all consistent. I almost wonder if we need to have them all, like it's just one contract and there's like 4 pages. Like there's a math page, like a page for each.
And then they just kind of
subject.
go through whenever they're at that.
Yeah, like in your, your first block class, we pass them out and we go over it, and then they go to their second block and sign that page. So by the end of the day, they've gone through all 4 content contracts. We've signed it, they've signed it. Now they have their
They see how important it is.
contract. They've heard it all.
Didn't you have a tax? Oh, that What's the weekly?
That's one of our TEKs is,
That's awesome when I saw that.
That's the voice restroom.
yeah. The tax.
I'm sorry,
No, I will.
there's too many in there.
The tax is one of our TEKs is setting up a percent proportion to figure it out. So a weekly tax is, hey, we're taxing this much on, and we'll have to give them, I think, a certain dollar amount, just to be like, all right, that's how much you owe us for paying rent or something for the building.
And I think we said keep it below like 4% or something crazy small.
Sure.
Otherwise, it's like a ton of money that they owe.
What if a kid has no money? Do they go negative?
That's a good point. We've
Like
never
if
had.
Yeah, if a kid has zero money by the end of the first week, then
Well, and then it comes into motivation and talking about that. And
Yeah.
some students, honestly, we only have about 1 or 2 that really give up and they're like, I don't want to do this. So at that point, you know, we have to figure out what are the next
or like, what if a
steps.
kid wants to borrow a pencil and they only have $5?
They can borrow. Sometimes it's really cool what happened in our class. They would borrow from another student, but then you would hear that student say, oh, I'm charging you 50% more. So you would hear that math talk within that, and they would make deals and stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, but do we like this idea? Do you think it's good going forward?
I think it is. My only suggestion or thought is that I think the difference maker between, and Rachel, I don't know did you ever do corporations when Brooks was here? So I remember it was kind of her idea.
Yeah.
So I think
we didn't do that.
I think the only thing that we missed out on, or the key, was their buy-in. The thing is that they had to interview. I think that's one thing that they haven't had to do in 6th grade. But the buy-in is that we're saying, hey, so we're gonna do things a little bit differently. I'm pretty much the CEO. I'm gonna post jobs, and here are my jobs, and just setting that expectation of okay, would you like to apply? Here are the requirements. And then most of them say, well, I don't want to do this. And they're like, okay. And you put your poker face on and you're like, okay, well then in that way we'll figure out a situation. We'll get you out of this class, which is not going to happen. But what ends up happening is that most of them are going, I'm doing it. And so they get on the bandwagon and they interview. And I'll set up for interview times. And I know my first year that I did it, and I'm like, okay, what day would you like to interview? And then we'll talk about being professional and being ready and having your answers, and we'll like give them answers and questions that you could be asked on your interview. And we'll interview them and we'll say, okay, what do you expect? So it makes it, they're like, I don't know, what's the word, ownership? They really go like, oh, take it serious. Like if we tell them this is what you're doing, I think we've already lost them at that point.
Do you have, oh, go ahead.
I haven't heard maybe talk of this, but you could also move up in management. Brooks had it set up around the room so they weren't just earning money, but they were earning position based on their.
It was just hard. I know that's why we switched it, because it was so, with all the movement and everything. I mean, the interviewing is great, but for math, you learn something new almost every single day. So it's hard to do the interviews, and it's hard to do all of that. So that's why.
Well, I could do the interviews.
What are the jobs that they are doing? Are they?
So, well, maybe not even, or I don't know if it would be a position or a title, but even if you want to be part of this company, you still need to get hired on. If we're trying to make it to be as real world it is, be like, okay, Ms. Damien's going to interview you guys, and I can interview them during Compass. I could interview them just 5 minutes throughout 1 week, and I said, okay, I'm gonna get this I can be like, oh, I'm their assistant, I'm gonna go take the information to them, but just something to, maybe not doing the titles, but they still have to apply for their job.
And does that go into any content with what you're teaching? Do y'all do any economic towards the end of the year?
Not really. I mean, we talk about the entrepreneurship, but we don't
go into it.
We don't, yeah, nothing as far as this entrepreneurs, capital, investment, not really. I mean, I don't mind doing the interviews. I don't know, I feel like that would be one thing that we're missing. How are we gonna hook them onto this? Besides, yes, they're gonna want they want rewards. But the kickoff is the big deal. Like we could have okay, like you were saying about the contracts. Oh, okay, just like a job. Like when's your orientation is on this day. Make sure to be here. Make sure to be here on this day and we do orientation, and then that day they're like, okay, in math, this is what you're gonna do. In reading, this is what you're gonna do. I don't know, just some thoughts.
It's good.
I know we had last year, or maybe, when we were able to pull all of them into my room, but we don't have third block.
Oh, okay.
It's not, they changed it this year. Some of them were in electives during third block.
Because that week before we were going to start it could be a great week to do interviews and do the kickoff.
Which one? I'm sorry.
So we have spring break, and then that week after we weren't going to start it, but that would be a good time to kick it off.
I almost wonder, because I'm trying to think, like, when could we have all of the kids so we could do a kickoff together or something? And the only time I could think is if we had it during club. That's the only time we could pull all the kids.
We could do second block because we both have dual language second block.
There'll be kids in electives though, during second block, so we have to pull them out of their elective classes.
So why can't we do third?
Because some kids have electives during third now.
We could do it during advisory.
Could we get it done that quick?
Except my advisory.
We could just, like, one advisory class period, hey, I don't know how we're going to kick it off, but.
I mean, we could do a video too or something. Do a little announcement video where we're in it.
We could make a video.
Dressed all business, professional.
That was another thing.
If we really want the buy-in, I mean.
I was just thinking, you stepped out, but I mentioned buy-in. And so when, I think you were, one year Brooks and Nastasi did like a corporation. And so they talked about, they had to apply for different positions. And so I was talking about having the students, if they're going to be part of the company, they have to apply. So I told them, like, I wouldn't mind interviewing them, being the administrative assistant, and then going, hey, what day would you like your interview to be? Your interview said
do
this
like
time.
either con
And
or
me just going, why do you should hire you? What should we expect from you? Just kind of making it
What
like.
is the point of the interview?
So for them to like buy in, to like take it seriously, and like encourage them to want to participate. I don't know, because I think maybe if we just tell them this is your job, here are the rewards. I don't know. It's just a thought. You don't have to do it. We were just thinking.
Yeah,
about
no,
it.
I'm not against the interview, but if we can to make a connection with the activities and the interview, because if we are only going to be asking questions about the positions or how we